Okay, hello again. So I'm back to the Raspberry Pi. Why? Because right now I have the Zoom GCE-3 in front of me, plugged in via USB. And if we do the A MIDI -L here, it tells me it found a device named Zoom GCE3 MIDI 1. So if we go to Manjul's program, so please check out his supercode on his Zoom ZD2. I'll put it in the link or you'll be able to find it. And he's done all the excellent work on determining that this Zoom B1X4 and all those are basically able to be talked to via MIDI. And he has a program Zoom Z2 which looks for this. I guess it's the file list sequence. I'm not absolutely certain, but there seems to be the file table. Now, what I did yesterday was I put the Zoom GCE3 into B1X mode, and another video is coming out when I've edited it, but this one might make the streets first because it's easier on this system than on the Windows system. So basically what I did was I put the Zoom into B1X mode, and then I transferred programs from the B1X directly to the box using sysx. So no Guitar Lab was used in the making of that. So now I realized I could see that we had this FLST sequence on the pedal. So I've got my own version of Munjul's code. Does a bit more than his, but well, he's improved it recently anyway. So what I found is that when you look at the name on the left, you see it says Zoom GCE. So I just had to call it this. Basically, if I search for MIDI name in the program, I print it out there, port with the MIDI name. And what was happening was that for whatever reason, the Mido says it's called this, Zoom GCE. And normally I call it Zoom G to find a B1X for. But today I'm calling it that. So you get the name from the hardware and then you add a Zoom GCE3 in front of it. Don't ask me why. So now what I do, I've made a directory from GCE and there's nothing in it. So we're going to run the command to get the stuff from the GCE. Sorry, I just got to find it. My memory's not so good in my old age. There we are. And of course here I want to go up a directory. So I've installed all the construct and various Mido things you need. So basically we run Python on my version of the script. So my version of the script was not so much forked, but borrowed from an earlier version of Munchwell's. And I then looked at pulling out the bitmaps and pulling out the full FX ID, the GID IDs, and then the whole patch, not dump, but the constituents of the patch. Okay, and you'll see what I mean in a minute. Let's just let it run, yeah? So we're going up one to find zoom and then minus rw pants.zd2. I need to talk to Mandro about my code's not as good as his, so is there anything you can do to take any of my stuff? Let's just hit it without further ado. So now you see this wonderful software of his is reading the GCE because the GCE has been put into zoom mode. So it says, hello, I'm a B14X. It says, hi, I'm a B14X, which means that to all intents and purposes, all of his code in that mode, when you boot your Zoom Guitar Lab into that mode, is running. So what I'll do is I'll open another thing here a second, leave that running. Oops, cd tilde slash zoom software, sorry. Let's go to Zoom Pedal Fun because this is the clone of it from the Git. So if I go into B1X4, then I have an identifier. Now I can't run that at the moment because the machine is running on the left, so the port is busy. In effect, although you can't see it because I'm not showing you it, but two, you couldn't see it because Munchos program puts the pedal into this PC mode, and normally something will come up on the screen to show you that. But of course, this is a piece of plastic, so you can't see it. So it's one of the disadvantages, but you can see in the background every so often it's flashing up that it's found stuff here. Boom, 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 boom. So what I've done is I've used his program to get the file list, and that gets us the names of the ZD2s, which are the effect programs, and it also gets us the names of the file group ID. So it's finished, yeah. Disable PC mode. Now, what have we got in this wonderful directory? Wow. So have I got Fay? Is that on there? Oh, okay. Sudo apt install. Sorry, my keyboard broke today. Fay. Okay, it's found it. Load it up. Fantastic. Yes, I want to do that. Boom, 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 boom. Wow, I hope this is quicker than it is. Sorry about this. I should have loaded it earlier. I had to reboot my Pi. My Pi crashed. It's got the SSD in it, and it seemed to lose all of the kernel files, etc., in the boot partition, and I kind of rescued it. Oh, okay, that's it. So ls star dot bmp. Okay, so if we do feh on, I don't know, svt 1u, over here you can just about see it. Sorry, it went up here, look. Can I make that bigger? Sorry, I can't even grab it. There we are. You can just about see that. It put the little baby icon there. Yes, we've grabbed the icon out. I think Mantra does this now, yeah. So we can grab the icons, but more importantly, have a look. We've got all of the ZD2s, should we want to, and then we use this parser to parse them, okay? And if we look at, for example, b octave.zd, oh no, we don't want to do that. B octave.zd2.json, then we have the description of it. So it's a BA octave, this effect adds blah, 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 blah. Now, the video will be out of sequence because undoubtedly I'm going to post this today because I'm so excited, yeah. Hopefully you appreciate how excited I am and you get the excitement as well if you're playing along with these things because they look pretty cool, yeah. So in the previous video, I'll give you the spoiler for it. What I did was to take the B14X patch and load it to a GCE3 that emulated a B14X without the Guitar Lab, and it worked fine. So I put pants in the first slot of the patch. So if we look at all FX, this is the list of all the FX. So now you see I inject the bypass because that's not real. Then we've got slow attack on there. We've got ZNR, we've got OpComp, we've got Black Ops. So these are all on the device, yeah. So when you install your GCE3 and you tell it today I want to be a Zoom B14X, it says okay, boss, and it sticks a firmware on there and it's on the pedal. So it's living in the memory of the GCE. Now, this isn't coming from my computer. This has got no knowledge of the Windows computer whatsoever, yeah. So this is quite a great finding, yeah, and it's all down to Muntel's brilliance that we can use and adapt his code to prove it, yeah. So it's really cool stuff. So we've got all that with all of the MIDI parameters. At one point, I know we can get the actual display parameters. There is a way I found to do that. But here's the really kinky thing. Now we look at all patches there are, and can you see pants 1 is the name of the patch. So there are 5 FX in it. This is a fat, clean, use bass drive. Exciter. So this is all what I show in the other video when I edit it. I had to reinstall Kdenlive on here because again I had to reinstall a system on this Pi, and you see all of the information is there, yeah. So I'm really stoked by this because what it means is that, well, okay, now we'll do what I was going to do, yeah. So that tells us that we've interrogated the pedal, okay, remote control. So now I can use this one. This is the production code that I stuck on the internet. So this see if this makes me out to be a liar. If we identify it, I don't know how it's going to identify. Is it going to identify as a GCE? Because the here you see it does, or is it going to identify as a 6.5, a 6E rather, which will be a B14X? Let's look. Ah, look, see there's the bit. 6E is a B14X, but it's got 010, and my one has 00000, and it's 1.20. There you are, you can see it there, sorry. So basically, this allows us to interrogate the pedal and say, hello, what are you? Okay, you're a Zoom GCE3, I guess, yeah. I need to check because I'm pretty convinced the BCE, sorry, I'm pretty convinced that the Zoom is just 6E000, but I will check, yeah. Now, then I guess at one point there must be a way to swap the modes. Although maybe you can only do that from the computer. I don't know. That would make sense if Guitar Lab is the one that's putting the firmware in, and once that's done, you unplug it and the little system's there. But what's pretty cool about this, let's have a look, star.shell. So by all intents and purposes, sorry, I won't do this in this directory. I'm going to move to my other directory because this will corrupt pardon me, this will corrupt what I'm doing with the Git, yeah. So let's go into the Zoom pedal, which is where I do most of the pre-work. So there's a lot more stuff in here for the pedals that I haven't published yet, yeah, because I'm still trying to debug it, make certain it works. So if we say to this one, let me say, hang on a second, get current FX, get patch, more ls star patch star dot shell. It's all in green. Get current patch, so more get current patch. What does that do? Does that get it? Right, that will actually physically get it. I thought there was a show. Get patch. Get patch. What does that do? But that actually gets a physical patch. Interesting. That showed me something which I'd forgotten on the other machine, and now it makes sense. Okay, that's good. Probe patches. Get patch. Get all patches. Low. Get current patch. Set. Ah, okay. Let's do it this way. If I say get current patch, it will put into current patch.bin in okay dot slash editor on dot shell get current patch there. Actually, what I should have done was say dot slash editor on dot shell and dot slash get more data, which basically cleans the buffer. And then I should have said get the current patch. And there we go. So this is basically pulled down the patch pants one. And we can see this is the first one, Vim pling dollar, because here we see pants one is the current patch, yeah. So let me now see if I can find grep grep minus I b20 in star.shell. I'm trying to find out. Ah, interesting. I don't have that. Why don't I have that? Interesting. I don't know why I have that. Okay, let's try something different. Get patch dot shell. I think this takes a parameter there. This takes a parameter. So basically it takes $1 minus 1. So if we say to it get, and it's going to put it out into the patch. Hang on, sorry, I've got to read my own code. The patch is that probe string patch underbar, and the patch is a number. So it's going to put it into patch X. So let's have a quick look. ls patch star. Okay. rm patch. Sorry, I'm just rambling a bit. I don't mean to do that. Okay, I can get rid of that like that. Good. Right. So now if I say to it, get patch shell, and I think 7 was Pastorius, Jacko rather. Let's see if we can get that. Okay, oh no, of course it's not 7, it's 17 on your pedal, isn't it? That's the physical value. Right. So yeah, there we are. So there we are, Jacko, right? Yep. And I think 3, so 13, what was that? That was, I can't, oh, we can find it here actually, look. So let's find patch name, yep. So 0 or 10 is pants, 11 is MX clean, 12 is slapback, 13 is glam comp. So this should be glam comp. Yeah. So it's all working as fine. So basically, this little GCE3 right now believes that it is the B1X4. So we can, I don't know why I haven't set, I'm really surprised I haven't done this. Let me just see if I've done it somewhere else. I'm really surprised I haven't done this. grep minus I c0 in star.shell. Load patch. Ah, look, I did. Load patch. Okay. So more load patch. I did do it. So load patch takes a number. Yeah, okay. So if I say dot slash load patch 17, that will load the So that's now told the little box in front of me, which we can't see, hey, move to the Pistorius patch, Jacko patch rather. I don't know why I'm getting muddled with a South African guy. Sorry about that. If we now say get more data and oh, and get current patch, we should get the patch for this Jacko. Interesting. There it is. Jacko base, yeah? So again, if we go up here and we tell it to load patch 13, and then we tell it to get more data, we should get the stuff for the glam comp. And what I'm pretty guaranteed, although I can't show it at the minute, if I have my guitar plugged in and I ran this kind of crap, even just this first bit here to change the patch, I'm pretty convinced a little system here would play that patch, which means if you have one of these external controllers that you've built and you plug it in and you send those standard MIDI to it, it should change the patches to whatever you stored on the pedal. So that allows you fairly trivially to take one of these little baby Zoom GCE3s, load in the firmware of your choice, and then use an external MIDI pedal to move the patches up or down, yeah? And you'd need something on your display to let you know where you are because there's no easy way to get feedback from this without a computer involved. But, one of these Behringer FCB 1010s or whatever they are, or anything like that would allow you to do that. Now, um, what we can now do, which is rather kinky, so actually we've just got the current patch there. Bear with me a second, I'm going on a bit long, but hopefully you're watching this to understand what you can do with it, and then we'll gradually I'll put more stuff. I mean, hopefully I can get Manjul excited by this, but there's stuff I'll be putting. I'll create a GCE3 here, and I'll put more details on it. Most of it will say, look at the B14X, yeah. So um, let me just look at what I had to decode it. Hang on a second. Yeah. So /B1X4 patch unpack 000. Is that it? Current patch.bin. What did it do? Ba, 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 ba. Yeah, that said it was 79.8. So let's try and change that 85 to 10, say, yeah. So what we'd do is to say /fxm pn dot shell efx1. What did we say? Parameter efx1 parameter free, and we're going to change it to 10. Oh, sorry, 10 if I can type it. Okay. So now that should have sent the command to the little box, say, hey, please make parameter 10. Again, you could use some state machine inside a embedded processor. Remember it. Now we'll go and now we need to grab the patch again. So we haven't changed, we've changed the patch, we need to get it from the memory, and now we need to decode it again. And let's see if that parameter free of fx1 has gone to 10. Yeah, see? 79.810, and before it was 79.885. Fantastic. So I'm geeking out about this. Yesterday, and the video will be out of sequence. You get this one first, yeah. Yesterday I took the GCE3. I told it, hey, please be a B14X, and I loaded patches to it on a Windows computer. I now taken this system apart next day, rebooted it onto my Raspberry Pi, modified some Munjal software so it can at least find the name of the device, and I might ask him if he has a smart way of doing that. Well, I will ask him. I'm not Mike going to ask him. Then I can use my programs to interrogate it as if it was a B1X4. So now I have a remote control version of it that's totally tiny. I mean, hell, 60 bucks, 60 pounds a piece. You could have a couple of these things plugged in um, off a standard Raspberry Pi. Um, hopefully you'll see hardware 3, hardware 4, hardware 5. I suppose you wouldn't necessarily be able to know which one was which. That's the only problem. So if you plug them in the wrong order, who knows? But you could have a couple of virtual pedals sat there. The G5 emulator on this is fantastic in terms of the number of effects you've got, etc. I mean, the G1 is pretty nice, yeah, but the G5 is cool. And also, as I've been decoding some more sysex, I found some extra strings which gradually I'll put into. So I've got a wiki here. So gradually I'll put more information, DRB1X, for example. So these things here for turning an effect on and off somewhere. What's it called? Yeah, this one here uses 0300, and then you send an on-off string there, yeah? But it turns out you can send 0301, and as long as this value is bigger than 0, but less than top bit set, so bigger than 0, less than 80 in hex, you hit it with an 01 in this position, and it seems to go on off, on off, on off. I don't know if that's useful, but it's what it does. Anyway, I'm going to stop here. This is really cool. So I'm going to contact Munchwell, tell him, hey man, I can modify your code a little bit, and then it talks to a GCE, and it all works. Yeah. So it's really great stuff he's done. And yeah, I'll stop here and thank you for listening and bye bye. Hopefully you find it interesting. Please post comments if you do. Okay, yeah, bye.